Welcome to Donnington Park Grand Prix circuit for round 2 of the 2015 Aston Martin GT1 Championship. Soltau takes his first pole for BOSRA, Daniel Turk in second and Talea in the top 3. Neil Bamber is in the first of the Bowden Solutions cars in 5th. We also welcome the return of Ben Hackerson in 10th. Bowden Solutions only have 3 drivers on the grid this week, David Rowland in 11th and Andrew Kane the 3rd driver in 19th. We welcome Jonathan Bethel as a newcomer for Acorn Printing and Gary Bradshaw, a director at Motorsport Auctions, in 20th. At the back of the grid, Ian Thorne for Acorn Printing and Chris Buttrell not setting a time this week. With the grid all set, let's head down to the track and join the action. Drivers waiting for the lights to go green. You'll see a few cars again disappearing, suffering with lag. Alan McCain in the pit lane already. Action straight away at Redgate, the first corner, with George Smith involved with Van Delden. All the other cars trying to stay out of trouble. We're going to follow now with Martin Golenicki in the Firefighters charity car down through the Craner curves and towards the old hairpin. Martin this week starting in 7th. Going wide round the old hairpin and getting collected by the 68 car. Massive crash for Martin this week. Watching the start again on board with Van Delden in the Motorsport Auctions car. A few cars still disappearing and then coming back. You see George Smith here on the outside, just getting tagged by Van Delden. Looking back, you see the rest of the field managing to avoid that quite well. Chris Buttrell waiting for the lights to go green. Chris not setting a time this week, having problems with his brake pedals. Hopefully that's all sorted now, thanks to Simon Underhill sharing a few tips and sorting out the brake settings. So Chris going from 22nd on the grid, just picking his way through the field, through Redgate and past George Smith there on the left hand side. Tucking in behind Ryan Walker now. Down through the Craner curve, still very cautious. Other cars off track, everyone just trying to be a little bit cautious on this first lap with the tyres being so cold. Round the hairpin and past Martin Golenicki off track on his roof. Other cars off track, Chris picking up even more places as we come up towards McLean's. Diving round cars left, right and centre, Chris finding himself in 8th. With a returning Ben Hackerson now through the Craner curves. Ben collecting a little bit too much grass on the left hand side, spinning the Aston. He has admitted himself he does hate these rear wheel drive cars. Soltau and Turk down towards the Melbourne hairpin. Tobias Soltau just trying to put the power on a little bit too early. Daniel taking the position. Jonathan Beresford in his 15th race today for BOSRA, coming through Coppice now, another driver getting on the power a little bit too early and across the grass slightly. Jonathan off and into the wall. Andrew Kane driving for Bowden Solutions, followed by Simon Underhill in the Firefighters charity car. Simon all over the back of Andrew and making a move up through Coppice. Great move from Simon. Smith, Green and Van Delden up through the foggy S's. Van Delden tagging Ricky Green. Ricky Green off into the gravel trap. Van Delden does carry on down towards the Melbourne loop to try and catch George Smith. You see Ricky in the background rejoining the track. Just ahead of Van Delden, George Smith has spun as Van Delden takes the places off them both. Weekly feature of the fastest lap of the race, we are on board with Daniel Turk on lap 8. Now, Tobias Soltau did set a fastest lap time of 1:24.190. However, in the replay file, because of the lag, Tobias is hardly visible during that lap, so we are going on board with Daniel for his fastest lap. In comparison, he set a 1:24.268. Fantastic onboard shot through the Craner curves and down to the old hairpin. Through the old hairpin and up now towards McLean's. As usual, this is the time of the roundup that I ask everybody to like our Facebook page, remind them to follow us on Twitter. We are starting to put a lot more out on Twitter and our Facebook pages. If you have got accounts with them, then please share it with everybody you know. It's great to get a few retweets each week and a few thumbs up on the Facebook page. Something else in the pipeline, we are looking to organise another special event very soon. Now the last 2 haven't gone down too well, whether it be because people couldn't attend, the choice of cars and tracks. We didn't get many sign up for it, but now we have got quite a few new members. Hopefully we can get a full grid, so keep an eye on the website, we will have that announced very shortly. as Daniel comes up towards Goddard. Just to let you know, the fastest lap obviously was Tobias Soltau. He picks up a bonus point for that, and he also had the pole position this week, so a great result for Tobias. 2 extra points this week. Luke Williams coming through Coppice onto the back straight, about to commit exactly the same mistake as Jonathan Beresford. The car into the wall. Ryan Walker in his 14th race today for BOSRA, just following Phil Gregory up through Coppice. Phil spins the car and goes off midway through Coppice, and further ahead Van Delden comes off track. The motorsport auction scene with 6 cars on the grid this week. Will Bush, the A driver, not attending. Lap 21, we are riding with George Smith through the foggy S's. Just ahead is Simon Jackson, the minicam showing a rear view from his car. These two running in 5th and 6th place at the moment as we head down towards the Melbourne hairpin. A back marker just ahead for Acorn Printing, moving out the way, allowing Simon Jackson to come past and George following just behind. Coming up towards Goddard, preparing for lap 22, Simon goes in a bit too brash. George lucky not to collect him as he comes past. George into 5th. Jonathan Bethel in his first race with BOSRA this week, so a big welcome to Jonathan. Another one try to get the power on too much, almost ending up in the pit lane. Jackson being followed by Van Delden, lap 24. Around the Melbourne hairpin, Jackson does run wide, Van Delden does take the place. Now with this being lap 24, it's a 25 lap race, so only one more to go after this, up towards Goddard's. Simon looking to get a great drive out of here. Simon again putting the power down too early and spitting the car off track. Move now to the leaders on the final lap of the race. Up through foggy S's for the very final time. We've got the minicam on Daniel out front, and we're riding on board with Soltau. Soltau not giving up the fight at all. Expecting to take the lead here as Daniel runs wide, but Daniel does fight back, pulls up alongside. You just see the front of his car there. Tobias goes for the lunge around the final corner. Daniel defends the line on the inside, and it is a great fight all the way to the line. Great driving from these two to finish off round 2 here at Donnington Park. A win for Acorn Printing and the Firefighters Charity in 2nd. 3rd place would go to this man, Matt Sawyer. Another podium position for Acorn Printing. Next week we are off to Zandvoort GP circuit for round 3 of the Aston Martin GT1 Championship. Please be sure to join us for that, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. For now though, the drivers' standings: Tobias Soltau leads on 47 points from Talea and Van Delden. Newcomer George Smith, after 2 races, sits in 5th. And further down, Bradley Selms didn't race this week, in 12th. Alan McCain moves up to 15th. Ben Hackerson gets off the mark in 16th. Jonathan Bethel also scores in his first race with BOSRA, and a really disappointing start for Simon Underhill, continuing problems with his hardware and cooling. Only 3 drivers scoring for each team this week in the team standings, so let's see what happened there. The Firefighters Charity are on 105, Acorn Printing in 2nd, and Bowden Solutions just behind them. Motorsport Auctions bringing up the rear. That's it from us this week. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.